Alrighty, welcome to the Thursday Live. I don't know why I feel like it just zoomed me in on this camera, the Facebook Live. I feel a little bit zoomed in with you guys, but welcome to the class. I'm going to chat with you guys today about a super exciting topic, of course. And this is something that I talked to my clients about. We were actually chatting about this earlier this month, and I just feel so passionate that more programs and more mentorships need to be teaching this skill to their clients. And it really prepares you, especially if you're going to hire a coach or hire a mentor or join a mentorship program, how to go into the program and guarantee that you're going to get these amazing results. Okay, so I'm going to teach you this skill, and the skill that we're going to talk about today is how to be your own mentor. How to be your own mentor. How to be your best mentor. And if you are joining me on the live, say hello in the comments. Let me know that you're joining me so I can see you and I can say hi. And if you're catching this on the replay, type replay and say hello so I know you're joining me and you're getting value from this topic. So this is such an important topic. I've been through so many different mentorship programs. I've had so many different coaches, and this was not taught. It wasn't part of the curriculum. It wasn't something that came up. And the reason why this is harmful, I believe, to coaches when we start coaching programs is it sets us up for disappointment when we join a program and we haven't learned the skill, or they're not teaching us the skill in the program of how to be our own mentor. It sets us up for feeling powerless, for feeling like our ability to get answers and learn and grow and get results as quickly as possible is dependent on this outside source. It's the worst feeling in the world. Okay, so we're going to talk about this and really dive into how to do it so that even if you don't have a mentor right now, you can be your own mentor and practice this skill set that I'm going to teach you today. So who's excited to hear that? Who wants to know how to actually mentor themselves? Because if you learn this skill, you can actually get your results faster than if you're just going through the motions, trying to just make decisions on the fly, winging it. This is something that I notice a lot of coaches do when they hire coaches, and why they get excited about hiring their mentor. They have a belief inside that when they buy the program or when they buy coaching, right? They're buying the coach. They have a belief that they're buying the program means that now that they've bought this coach, and this coach is going to create success for them, right? Imagine that feeling. You invest in a mentor or you invest in a coach, and you have a belief that that coach is now going to come save you and create success for you. So for some of you, the feeling might be relieved. Oh, great. Someone else smarter than me, more experienced than me, has got it covered. I don't have to worry. And some of you might have a little bit of stress and anxiety about that, feeling like your results are in someone else's hands. But really what you're doing is abdicating results onto another person, right? A guru, a mentor, a program. And this is the worst way, the absolute worst way to invest into the growth of your coaching business, right? So the skill that more mentors need to be teaching is how to mentor yourself, how to coach yourself through any problem that could possibly come up in your business. So the best tools to do that, to evaluate what's going on and really look at what's getting you the results that you're getting right now, is this tool that we talk a lot about in OCI. My clients are very familiar with this, and it's the model by Brooke Castillo. But you don't have to use the model. You can really use any tool that creates awareness around what you're thinking, feeling, and doing on a daily basis. Okay? So it's interesting because, right now, I know that you watching this, the person I'm talking to, is a coach. I'm talking to coaches right now. So it kind of feels like I'm preaching to the choir, right? Talking about coaching ourselves when we're coaches. We should know how to do that. But something interesting happens when we put on our entrepreneur hat and we decide to be open for business and money is involved and we want to be a paid coach and we want to have clients that pay us. Our brains, they have a total freak out and we're a mess, right? Which is great. It's a sign, hey, we're on the right path. If our goal is scaring us and exciting us at the same time, we're probably doing the right thing, right? If it doesn't scare you, you're probably not dreaming big enough. You're probably not on the path of a big enough goal. But if we don't understand this skill of coaching ourselves and being our own mentors and creating awareness, we end up feeling really stuck in our business. And we end up being at the mercy of all of our circumstances in our life, our circumstances in our personal life. So what things that come up in your marriage, things that come up with your kids, anything that happens in your personal life will derail you in your business if you don't understand this skill. Things that are happening in our professional life, so things that are coming up at work, projects, overtime, your boss is giving you a hard time, could be anything going on at work. Could be the opposite. Could be that they just cut your salary, they cut your hours. Anything happening at work, if we don't understand this skill, all of these circumstances in our life come along and derail our goal, our commitment that we had to work on our business. Even things like our self-worth, right? We give away our power for our self-worth. We give away our power with our thinking that we haven't learned enough to put ourselves out there yet in our business. And so if we don't know how to be our own best mentor, all of these traps, all of these areas will be traps that will rob you from the results that you can create in your business right now if you understand this skill set we're going to talk about today. Okay? So we have all these areas to look at between what we're learning in our business, what's happening in our personal life, what's happening in our professional life, what's happening in our own emotional state, and all of the growth and discomfort that we're putting ourselves in to put ourselves out there. If we don't know how to mentor ourselves on what's happening, we miss the opportunity to get to our goal that much faster. How many of you know 100% that you are responsible for whatever result you create in your coaching business this month? How many of you realize that you're 100% responsible for where your business is at thus far this year? Right? So we're end of October, going into November. The year's almost over. We're already into quarter 4. How many of you are doing an evaluation and taking a look at your business and saying, I take full ownership over where I'm at right now in my business, and I gotta be honest with myself about exactly what has happened that's led me exactly to this point in my business right now. And how you know you don't fully believe this yet, if you logically believe it but you don't fully believe it, is if you yourself feel very responsible for creating results for your clients. If you think about your clients and where they're at in their goals this far this year, and you feel very responsible for how quickly they're getting there. If they're on week 3 with you and you have a very specific target for them for week 3 and they're not there yet, what are you making that mean about you? Right? It's a clue that we don't really believe yet. That what we've created thus far this month in our business is 100% our own personal ownership. And the same for this, what we've created this year. So how we mentor ourselves is so important, because if we don't know how to mentor ourselves in a way that serves us and gets us the result that we want, we won't know how to create the result faster. We won't know how to get there in a way that's as fast as possible. So knowing how to do that comes from a tool that creates awareness about what you are thinking, feeling, and doing every day. So if you don't use the model, at least have a tool in your toolbox. Get yourself a coach to give you these tools, or have a tool in your own toolbox of how you create awareness around what you're thinking on a daily basis, what you're feeling on a daily basis, and what actions you're actually doing every day. How many of you would be able to tell me what are the top 3 emotions you carry around with you all day? How many of you can just name them just from practicing this awareness? So when you think about your business, the amount of time you spend thinking about your business all day, what are the top 3 emotions you feel when you're thinking about your business or thinking about growing your business? And you can ask yourself this question right now. You don't have to tell me. You can tell me. You can answer in the chat, or you can just tell yourself what those 3 emotions are. And when you take a look at those emotions, it becomes more clear to you why you're taking the actions you're taking, because our emotions drive our actions. So just notice, maybe write it down, because we're going to talk about some other emotions in a minute here, but just to notice what emotions what emotions come to your mind when you stop and think about what your emotions are when you think about your business, your top 3. You can also take a piece of paper out and spend just 10 minutes a day writing out all of the thoughts that are floating around in your head when you're thinking about your coaching business. So just writing them all down. They don't have to be emotions. They could be thoughts. They could be statements in your mind about your coaching business. They could be questions that you think on repeat a lot about your coaching business. Just get really curious about your state all day. So tuning in to what you're thinking and feeling. And then at the end of the day, once you have practiced creating awareness around that, take a look at what results you created for that day. This is where mentoring yourself starts to become really powerful. Now we're aware and we're taking ownership over our thinking and feeling and bringing attention to that on a daily basis. And we're taking a look at the results at the end of the day and doing an evaluation on this. This is so important. This is what nobody is teaching you to do. At the end of the day, evaluate what you did. Evaluate the result you created that day. Even if you have a weekly goal or a monthly goal, you can evaluate your day to see if you hit your targets for that day, to see if you accomplished everything that you had set for yourself that day. Why did I create these results today? What actions did I take? What did I allow to come up? Instead of doing the actions that I had planned to take today, what did I allow to take priority today? Remember when we talked about our personal lives, our professional lives, all of those areas that will take over when we haven't learned this skill. Get really honest with yourself. You have to be on to yourself about these things. We have to be honest with ourselves about what's actually happening. Because so often, and we don't mean to do this, but so often as coaches, we can lie to ourselves about what's actually happening. When we feel like we're really burning the candle at both ends, we feel really burnt out and overwhelmed in our business and trying to balance our work life, professional life. We've got kids, we've got responsibilities, and trying to grow this business, it's a lot. When we are mentoring ourselves, if you're being your own coach and you tell your brain that, you as the client are telling your brain, your coach brain that, your coach brain's job is to evaluate that and ask you to be onto yourself. Tell me what you actually did. What were the actions you took today? How much time did you spend thinking about the business, and what were the emotions you were creating? Were they overwhelm, burnout, frustration, doubt? And were those the emotions, having those emotions all day, were those emotions creating this feeling of overwhelm, this feeling of being burnt out? Oftentimes when we look at the actions we're taking, we're not doing that much to be as tired as we are when we think about our business. We burn ourselves out with the thoughts that we allow to happen in our mind when we're not even doing anything, and we don't even have anything planned to do on the business. There's no work to be done on the business if you're at your 9 to 5. If you're at your 9 to 5, your job is to be focusing on your 9 to 5 and what you need to do to show up 100% for the responsibility you have to that job, right? When you're working on your business, your responsibility is to not think about your job and what happened that day with your boss and what happened with your coworkers and all the projects going on. Your only responsibility is to be thinking about your business. So just notice and tease out what's going on. Be onto yourself when you're feeling an emotion about your business. If it's tired, overwhelmed, burnt out, notice if it's coming from a thought that you're carrying around or if it's coming from a massive action in your business. Because usually when we're in massive action, here's a clue for those of you to coach yourselves. When we're in massive action, it actually fuels us and it creates more energy and enthusiasm for the business because we're moving it forward. And when we're in our thoughts about our business, it drains us because we're not actually usually taking action when we're thinking about our business. Who here has noticed that they do that? I know I have done this a lot where I'm not even able or in a place in my life where I can do any work on the business. I'm not even at home. I'm somewhere completely else. I'm either with friends, with family, or working, and I have another responsibility to be paying attention to something else, and my mind is going on about my business and what I should be doing and how I'm going to make it happen and how I've got to figure all of these things out. How many of you have done that? So when we start practicing this skill of mentoring ourselves and being our own best mentor, we can get really honest about what's happening, what we're thinking, feeling, and doing on a daily basis. And the most important thing to be onto when we start creating awareness about our thinking, feeling, and doing all day is what emotions we have, are they serving us? Because there's specific emotions that I've noticed with coaches that are so easy to fall into, and they feel really harmless. They feel very innocent, but they don't serve us ever in our business, okay? And these emotions that we have are usually a cover-up emotion for fear. So for coaches, the first emotion that we have is doubt. It feels very important to have doubt and uncertainty because, well, we're not an expert on this yet. We haven't done it before. We need someone to help us figure it out. And so this emotion, doubt, it feels very valid. It feels real. I haven't created the result yet. I haven't done it. I've never had a 10K month before. I'm having a lot of doubt about how to do that. But when you're in this emotion of doubt, it literally, it's like an emotion that's just stagnant, that's not moving you forward. It's not moving you anywhere. And it feels valid to not be moving because doubt takes away action. It feels like you should just be sitting there in the doubt until you can not be feeling doubt anymore. How many of you know what I mean by that feeling of doubt? Like, I can't do anything yet. I can't make a decision. I can't move forward because I just have so much doubt that I even know what I'm doing. Same thing with confusion. Confusion is a very similar emotion. I'm just really confused right now about what I'm supposed to be doing right now. I'm really confused about all of it. I'm really struggling. It feels real. It feels almost comforting to tell yourself that because it's validating. It's like, I'm just really confused and doubtful right now, or I'm overwhelmed. Overwhelm is another one. So you guys have to be on to yourselves about these emotions. If you are going to be your own best mentor and you are going to coach yourself, you need to be on to yourself about these emotions. It feels real. It feels validating to have those emotions, but it's not serving you. And if it's not serving you, and how we know it's not serving you, it's not creating the result that you want. You don't have the result you want in your business. So that emotion isn't driving the action that's creating the result you want. The emotion of confusion, doubt, and overwhelm never serves you anytime ever. And if we were to be our own mentors about it and be onto ourselves, we can take a look at the emotion and think about what's underneath that, what's driving that emotion. It's usually a thought of, I don't know, I'm too new, I'm too confused, I'm not going to be able to figure it out until someone comes along and unconfuses me, and we're just kind of in this space of everything is outside of us, the answer is just out there, and until it all gets figured out, we're just kind of stuck right here. And when we're in that place, it hinders us from actually being able to do an evaluation and show up in an empowered state to get help, right? If we were in a clear state and we were able to do an evaluation on what's going on, why we're feeling overwhelmed and what it is we're feeling overwhelmed about, and take a look at our model of what is it, if we're overwhelmed about our goal, what are our thoughts, feelings, and actions about that goal right now, then we can take that to someone who's done it before and show up in an empowered state and say, hey, this is my current thoughts about it. This is what I think the answer is. And we can actually receive the coaching. Do you all see the difference? So often we think we need a coach to come just give us the answer. I see this with my clients all the time. That's why we coach on this topic, because what happens is we want someone who's done it before to just give us the recipe, show me the blueprint, just tell me what to do, just tell at me. But if I just give you the answer and I just tell at you, then I'm robbing you of the opportunity to do this evaluation. Let your brain trust itself to have an idea of the answer and take it to someone and say, hey, is this right? This is what my brain has evaluated, and I think this is what the answer should be. Am I right? What do you think, mentor who's done this before? Do you see how that's different? How that's showing up in an empowered state to get help, trusting yourself to have good answers? I'm telling you, this will change the game. I don't care if you've had a mentor before, if you are planning to get another mentor, if you just want to mentor yourself, you will get so much out of any mentorship you have if you learn how to mentor yourself. You will be able to take that into any program you ever join and know you're going to squeeze the most juice out of that program, you're going to get the most value, and you're going to get the most help because you are able to mentor yourself through any problem and answer your own questions, and then go validate that with the person who's gone before you and done it. What happens when you do that is you start to trust your brain. You start to create confidence that you can find out the answer, that you do know the answer. A lot of the times you were right. You went to your mentor and they said, yes, I 100% agree with you. I would do the exact same thing. But if we never learn that skill and we always immediately default into looking outside of us to figure it out and have somebody else evaluate what's going on, then we never grow that muscle. And we also don't grow our confidence and our trust in ourselves to make empowered decisions. We don't trust ourselves to just decide. It's such an important skill to be able to make swift, empowered decisions. That ability to do that, to evaluate what's going on and make an empowered decision quickly, will make or break your business. The biggest expense in my business has been my own lack of decision making, my own delays in making decisions in my business. Whether that's waiting too long to decide to hire an assistant, or waiting too long to decide to fire someone. Those decisions are costly. So this skill I'm teaching you now, it might sound boring, it might sound like it's not tactical enough. I'm telling you, this skill will make you so much money and success so much more quickly in your business if you actually take it in and practice it every day. Do you see how this is all tying together? If you can't make empowered decisions when you're not being honest with yourself about what you're thinking, feeling, and doing every day, and you're not evaluating any of your current results you have thus far, how are you going to trust yourself to make another decision in your business? How are you going to know why you are at where you are right now in your business and what direction you need to go? A lot of times we get into that squirrel brain and the shiny object syndrome just because we aren't practiced at doing our own evaluations. We're getting sucked into everyone else's ideas about what we should be doing in order to create the result we want right now. And you're going to notice in the world of the internet, everybody has an opinion. You're going to hear a lot of people's thoughts about what worked for them and what you should be doing. So I challenge you, if you don't have this in your toolbox, if you're not doing this every single day at the end of the day, if you're not evaluating your results and you're not building that skill set of trusting yourself to have answers and show up in an empowered state with an answer that you feel confident in, then you're leaving so much success on the table, success that you could have right now. So if you ask me what's the most important indicator for success, and specifically long-term success in your business, it's your emotions that you're allowing to fuel your activities every day. This is so important. And this is one of the biggest key indicators between the coach who comes into my program, the coaches that I see come through OCI who hit their goals and succeed, and the ones who come in with big goals and the second they hit a bump in the road or the second they have their first failure, they quit. It's too much for them to handle. Being able to pinpoint your emotions that are driving you every day, and then the next step to that, actually specifically choose those emotions and have control over them. What's fueling your activity will make or break your success. So your ability to mentor yourself. It's your ability to mentor yourself. All right? Those who aren't willing to fail, who aren't willing to look foolish, who aren't willing to feel uncomfortable and can't handle their first disappointing result, to even look at it or evaluate it. They don't even want to uncover their eyes to do an evaluation about what happened, what they did, what they didn't do. Those are the ones who end up quitting, period. So I don't want that to be you, my friends. Practice this skill. If you have it in your toolbox and you haven't been using it, take it out, dust it off. If you haven't even thought about whether you're doing this on a daily basis, think about it. Think about what you're doing. Are you evaluating your results every day? Are you aware of your top 3 emotions that you carry around with you all day when you're thinking about your business? Right? What are you thinking, feeling, and doing? Maybe you don't need to change your thinking and feeling. Maybe your thinking and feeling is serving you, but you need to change your action line. Maybe your thinking and feeling is, I can totally do this, and I feel super driven, but your action line is to sell a $7 ebook, and you want to create the result of $100,000 in your business. So now you know, okay, well, that's not creating the result I want. I'm not getting $100,000 with this $7 ebook, but I still have the thought I can totally do this. I can totally create $100,000, and I feel really driven to do this. And you change the action you're taking. You change that third ingredient to, I'm going to sell a 2K program. I'm going to sell a high ticket coaching program. Now I only need an average of 4.16 clients every month. Now that goal is totally doable. So evaluate what you're doing. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? And what actions are you taking from that place? Maybe you're taking all of the right actions. Maybe you know that you need a 2K program, but your thoughts and your feelings aren't serving you. Take a look at each of those ingredients, because it's not what you're doing, it's what you're thinking and feeling when you're doing it. But then also, if your thinking and feeling is on point and you don't know what to do, or you're realizing what you're doing isn't actually feasible to create the result that you want, maybe you just need to get a new strategy. Find the right strategy. Find someone who has the strategy, and keep your thinking and feeling line in check, because you've got that coached. You're coaching yourself on that. Just be onto yourself. Be your best mentor. You are the best mentor you will ever have if you learn this skill. All right, my friends? Let me know in the comments if this was helpful for you. I really enjoy bringing you these lessons, and I really enjoy hearing from you guys. Let me know if this helps you actually think about how you can mentor yourself every day, how to evaluate what you're doing, and if that is something that excites you to be able to take a look at that. Let me know in the comments if this is helpful, and until next time, I will talk to you all next week. Bye-bye.